Hello, freak bitches. The worst term I've heard is you're a race hustler. And there's a lot of people that elevate their careers by taking these ideas of critical race theory, and then they get hired by universities or hired by corporations to give speeches, and they wind up making exorbitant amounts of money. And they keep making more and more inflammatory statements, and the more outrageous these statements get, and they put them on Twitter, and they write blogs and articles and op-eds, and these outrageous statements get a lot of heat behind them, and then they get more and more calls for these speaking gigs, and they wind up making a lot of money, and they make the discourse extremely toxic. So instead of having conversations about the history of it, then it starts being all people are racist. And all people have biases, and black people can't be racist because they don't have power, and racism is only a thing that white people can, which is ridiculous, right?
But
this is where it comes from. Right, of course, but this is where it comes from. It comes from people taking an idea that has some merit, and you take it to a point where they're either exaggerating or changing that idea to suit their own purposes as a speaker and as a person who reflects these ideas.
Yeah, I got no problem with that. They're a bunch of thugs. But, there's thugs on both sides of the aisle, and we'd all like to make money. My point is that it doesn't have a place in the schools. That the schools should just. I got a friend of mine. She's a black woman, and she was and she took her kids out of school. Eventually, had to go to Catholic school because she went to school and she was objecting to what they were teaching.
What were they teaching?
Well, what they were teaching was that black people are oppressed and that black people have always been oppressed. And she said, "Wait a second." She said, who are you, some 22-year-old jumped-up white girl, to be telling me about racism? She says, if there's anything that I want my children to know about race, I'll tell them. So that's what I'm objecting to, is the teacher. I mean, did you ever go to parents' night at your school?
I've been to parents' night before, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what a bunch of nonsense. The kids were out of school for 2 years in California, and I was saying to my wife, what's a shame? She said, no, it's a good idea. They get 2 years less of indoctrination. Maybe they learn something.
Well, when the whole George Floyd thing happened, one of the schools that my kids were going to back in California released this email saying that it's not enough to not be racist. You now must be anti-racist. And my kid's 9 at the time.
Yeah. What does that mean?
I'm like, what does it mean?
Anything.
I'm like, these kids are not even remotely racist. Like, they have all sorts of different kinds of friends. I've never heard them discuss it once. It's just, I like this person, and she's nice to me, and we like to play together, and we both like the same things, and so to tell a 9-year-old that you have to be anti-racist, well, then they're going to go looking for racism, and they're going to go looking to confront it. Yeah. But I don't know if it's power. It's an ideology that captures people, and I think the roots of it, in their mind, is good. That is, you're going to stomp out racism, but it's this naive person who's an educator who's, I don't want to disparage anybody, but they weren't that good at what they were doing in the first place.
That's right.
Like, they weren't that good at teaching in the first place, and now here they are saying they're going to tackle something, not just tackle something as complex as race in America, but you're going to establish rules that you can't just be not racist, you have to be anti-racist. And you're going to teach this to a 9-year-old. It's like, what are you saying? Like, what exactly are you saying? What is your fucking end goal? If you want to say all human beings are created equal in the eyes of love and the Lord and God and heavens and the universe, and really the differences are about climate, where people evolved, and then the differences are social, what communities they come from and what part of the world they come from, and what their ancestors encountered and what their relatives, their mom and dad encountered, and what they've encountered in life, and that human beings are vast resources and reservoirs of potential, all of us. And that brilliant people can be Asian and black and white and all kinds of things. and that racism is stupid. If you want to teach that, I'm all with you. But if you want to tell my 9-year-old they have to be anti-racist,
well, it doesn't mean anything.
What does it mean? Yeah, what does that mean? So they have to go find racism and confront it?
Well,
the problem